But you know, SKB does have their ADC back. And Danbro is going to, be supporting again. You know, back on his actual main role. And let's see if they can make some magic happen. And shut down Phoenix from rising again. That was really bad.
Okay there, freak.
Yeah. So Ziggs being banned out for Yams, Salted Yams this game. Lucian, the respect ban from Phoenix. I don't
They
think.
don't want to deal with that again.
Yeah, I don't think SKB wants to deal with Phoenix Lucian.
Syndra, so they're really focusing their bans down on that mid lane. They don't want to deal with. They want to probably force BC Buddy onto an uncomfortable pick again, and just let Yammer counter him with that last pick.
Braum being banned out from Salted Yams. That's surprising because they did play Braum last game.
No, it was
No,
SKB
sorry,
that
SKB. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so I don't know how much of an impact Braum did to force out the ban, but we'll see.
They could be banning it because they want to play that Nami again, and he did block a couple tidal waves with that shield.
That is probably a good call. Wow, Yamar getting his Yasuo might be a little BM coming out, wanting to show BC Buddy how Yasuo is played.
Yeah, see how they can build a comp around him though.
Lee Sin, though, being hovered over by Kawaii Kevin, he wasn't very impactful that game. But Orianna picked out those shockwaves again. Anything can happen with a very good Orianna shockwave. Again, ball not being blocked by Yasuo Windwall.
I believe the Q is blocked. I'm just looking that up right now. I believe the ball stops at the wall.
Oh! Learning something new every day. But Alistair support coming up from Danbro. Cow usually seen in the top lane nowadays. J4 coming out for Masduck. Masduck is hovering over that. That is a comfort pick for him. He is known for his Elise and Jarvan play.
Yeah, so Yasuo Windwall does block the Orianna ball. That I just looked it up, and it will stop right at the wall.
That is very surprising. But as Salted Yams are coming out, they are having a team comp, based out on that Yasuo. The Flay, the Jarvan Flag, able to knock people up for that Yasuo ulti.
Yeah, I'm definitely liking the comp build so far, as long as the Thresh is landing his hooks.
Maokai being hovered over in the top lane. Honestly, or they might give Maokai over again to Kawaii Kid jungler, but Hecarim being hovered over. Not seeing very many Hecarim jungles as of late, so this will be interesting to watch.
Hecarim scales very well to the late game, but his early game is very weak. He does need a lot of money. He does need a lot of big ticket items to really get going. He needs that. From what I've seen, is he needs that Triforce to really start getting his damage out. He needs that Spirit Visage to help his healing so he doesn't get destroyed. So if he can make it through the levels 1 to about 10, he'll start picking up and start outscaling the Jarvan into the late game.
Salted Yams, though, has of their two of their main players on comfort picks, though. Yamar on that Yasuo, he is just known for that Yasuo play, and Mastuck known for his Jarvan. I'm not quite sure if SKB thought these through, um, or if they have a way to shut down Yamar, just like they shut down BC Buddy in the last game.
On the other hand, though, SKB very tanky. They have Maokai, Hecarim, Alistar, and Orianna Shield. That's a lot of beef to go through. So see how they can play out the fight. See if Yasuo can get those knockups on the two carries, the Orianna and the Vayne, it looks like.
This, I was just about to question where SKB's damage was going to come from, and the answer is Vayne. Whereas this comp is a little, it's less protect the ADC, but there is still a lot of CC and a lot of beef coming from SKB. They do have Maokai's Twisted Advance, the Orianna Ball, the heal, push back, headbutt, and knock up from the cow, and the fear and knockback from Hecarim. Over on the other side, though, for Salted Yams, that is a scary team.
Yeah, they have good synergy with Jarvan, Thresh, and Yasuo. Great split pushing this time with the Olaf. Interested to see how this Ezreal goes. We haven't seen him too much since the item changes have kind of made him a little less relevant. We saw him at Worlds, and he got destroyed. Anyways, he did well in lane, but he just didn't have the damage later on. So see if the damage can come out from Yasuo to make up for the little bit of a lack of AD carry later on in the game.
It is also should be pointed out that Salted Yams is running a full AD comp. With the tankiness of SKB, and if they prioritize armor, there is a good chance that Vayne, if they can keep her safe and soak up, the skill shots coming from Ezreal, zone out that Olaf, I feel like Vayne can definitely tear apart this team.
Well, yeah, and Alistar and Maokai, two champs that can prioritize armor very well and use it very effective.
Going back onto that Ezreal pick, though, I have never liked him as an ADC. In all my time playing, I did get suckered into the Pulsefire Ezreal. It is nice, but I've always played, Ezreal as AP when AP Ezreal was a thing, and it's a very cheesy build on AP Ezreal. But I just don't feel that Ezreal brings very much to the table as ADC kit. Yes, he has mobility, but so do, Vayne, Corki, even Caitlyn has a dash that slows as well. I just I don't like Ezreal. Let's just put it that way. And I might be a little jaded because Ezreal is very hit or miss in the solo queue scene. You either have a very godlike Ezreal or one that can't land skill shots. But overall, as a general consensus, I think that there are a lot more ADCs that can do Ezreal's job better. That being said, it is on Phoenix. And with his monster performance on Lucian 917, he can prove me wrong with a godlike performance on that Ezreal, but we
Uh,
shall see.
Ezreal is his fourth most played champion, but the champs ahead of Ezreal on his most played are Lucian, Jinx, and Caitlyn. So he had those options to pick up the Jinx or Caitlyn as well. When he went to the Ezreal, does have some good synergy. Jarvan groups them all in. You can get a great true shot barrage. That's a lot of magic damage coming out. Kind of makes up for the fact that they are an all AD team. Maybe they're looking for that AP damage that Ezreal can provide as well as building AD. But as I said, Ezreal has a solid laning phase versus the Vayne. He can poke her out, stay safe, so Vayne can't get her auto harass off. But as I said, just doesn't quite scale to the late game. I remember a lot of pro AD carries, AD carry mains would say Ezreal is a very balanced AD carry. He can do well in every matchup. So we can see how Phoenix does in that regard. But since the item changes with Infinity Edge becoming such a strong item, Ezreal needs that Triforce over the Infinity Edge, so he just doesn't quite scale the same way.
That being said as well, if SKB puts that Vayne in, in a split pushing role, looking at Salted Yam's kind of roster, on the assumption that they are on even footing, there is no one on Salted Yam's team that can single-handedly stop that Vayne.
Well, they do have Yasuo and they do have an Olaf.
I feel like Yasuo needs to be with the team though, in order to again use his ulti um effectively. Pause has been set by, I believe, SKB. It is a bathroom break. Apparently that last game was a little too intense. So grab your guys' self a drink before the second match of the BC Amateur League, SKB versus Salted Yams, restarts. Some smack talking
The
going
trash
on.
talk is
The
going. I'm reading that.
the trash talk is real, but all in good fun with these teams. Um, it's very nice to see teams that know each other definitely have that sort of rivalry going on. It is very fun to watch, and it does come out in their play, though maybe a little sloppy on some of the calls. Your pride is on the line, um, but it does make for a very good game.
Danbro mentioning the point, he says that, well, at least I'm not AD carry anymore. So maybe he was a little uncomfortable last game playing that ADC role. He's happy to be back with his Alistar. Another old school support similar to Blitzcrank, where they were very popular season 2, making plays in the bot lane. And with the Vayne, they can get rolling if they can land those combos.
Again, a lot of potential for SKB this game. Their team comp is again a lot more centered around Vayne carrying this game, but maybe, just maybe, Davey SD can do what BC Buddy could not in the last game, and carry the team to victory. So as a top laner yourself, let's talk about this Maokai Olaf. matchup in the top lane. How does that go?
Well, Olaf has true damage. A very, very helpful versus someone that's going to be stacking health and tank items such as Maokai will do. So he has that true damage to cut through. I'm interested to see what Olaf maxes first here. But Maokai, very strong right now in the meta, very strong in the top lane. We're getting flashes over the bottom wall there, though. They want to come all the way around to catch him off guard.
Oh wow, hook missing from Nesu though.
That's
That
four
was
flashes they burnt, though, for that. And, well, they want to be aggressive, it looks like.
yeah, salted yams definitely wanting to press the momentum that they started. These hooks from Nesu though, not finding their mark. Definitely putting his team back from the mistake.
Yeah, not quite the same accuracy as his Nami bubbles were going last game off the start here. We'll see how he keeps going, but that's for now. He's 0-1 on those hooks.
So it looks like both junglers just picking their respective buffs.
Jarvan is a little behind in his clear compared to Hecarim, so see if that leads to any early ganks coming through from Hecarim without the counter opportunity.
There is a lot more reliable CC in the top lane though. If both junglers decide to start with their first gank there, they are moving their way up. You know, twisted advance from Maokai is a route. There is only a slow and well, depending on how reliable Mass Duct is on this Jarvan, a knockup. Again, it is a comfort pick for him, so he is setting his sights. Olaf already doing massive damage to Henok on that
There's
Maokai.
the true damage that's coming out. That's very Shazet. It is going to be strong.
Junglers meeting them each other on that tri-bush, able to give Henok on that Maokai some forewarning. He is going wardless right now. But both junglers just staying top lane. This might prompt something happening in the bot lane, knowing that both junglers are up there. Though again, early damage from Ezreal is not there. Even if Nesu does land a hook, I don't know how much kill potential there is, especially with the cow being there to provide a lot of CC.
Well, Thresh is running Ignite this game, so he doesn't have the exhaust. But he does have a little bit of extra damage, maybe to make up for Ezreal's little lackluster all-in pre-6 for Ezreal. And once he hits 6, though, Ezreal does get a big burst of damage in his kit.
Yasuo definitely putting the harass on BC Buddy's Orianna.
But BC Buddy, holding up in CS, actually has a little lead off the start here.
Yeah, he can't be taking those tornadoes to the face. Yamar sees Kevin coming on that Hecarim from a mile away. Good warding, though does not stop the damage coming through, bringing him very low.
And that was just to relieve some pressure more than anything in that mid lane, letting Ori actually getting a bit of a health advantage back onto Yammer.
But again, with any mana-based caster, there is Mavduck wants to put some more pressure on Yamar, but fails to do so.
And speaking of that early game, those 4 flashes burnt on the side of Salted Yams, almost back up. So the little bit of the risk they took early is didn't get punished too much.
Again, Salted Yams playing very aggressive in this top lane. Hook lands from Nesu, but again, Ezreal just missing that damage, that punish. with Phoenix having Jinx so high on his played list, I almost feel like it was a missed opportunity. Um, with Chompers being able to chain in after that hook to provide more CC from it.
And Jinx Thresh have great synergy because Jinx lacks an escape, and Thresh can just use the lantern to kind of make up for that little bit weaker.
Coming in from Kawaii Kid, though, on a very low Yamar. He is yet to back as well. Orianna so very low on both health and mana, can't follow it up. She would just probably pay with her life. Yamar delaying BC Buddy's back just a little bit longer. And it's a very unfortunate time for BC Buddy to be forced to go back. It was during a cannon wave, had to get it smited away by Kawaii Kevin. And Yasuo has a CS advantage now.
So looking across the board here, the CS advantage is all on the Salted Yam side. So they're going to have a little bit of an extra gold lead for that first dragon. I'm going to see how that first dragon, I think, is actually going to decide a lot this game. Everyone will be 6 for it by the looks of things. No one's going for it yet. There's not even vision on it. So I'm going to be looking at that maybe for the first blood even this game. Because very, very passive laning phase. Lots of fighting, but not giving up the kills.
Now, usually for this matchup, I would have liked an arm guard on that Orianna to start off with to stem kind of the damage coming from Yasuo. But as you can see, she is going even on farm, so she is able to keep up with that Yasuo poke with poke of her own, and so that chalice is definitely going to keep her mana up. But BC Buddy and Kawaii looking at that bottom lane, wanting to punish Phoenix and Nesu by playing up so far this entire game. Decides to back off though, since Yamar was able to push up all the way. Kawaii Kid going for a lane gank again, very safe though, with that dark passage from Thresh and the arcane shift from Ezreal. What I can say for Vayne though is Davey is known for his high CS, and from the aggression that Nesu and Phoenix are playing so far up, it's kind of put pressure on his farm. Having to farm underneath turret can be a little stressful, especially if your support doesn't prep the minions correctly for you. You can lose quite a bit of CS under turret. Mastock waiting at Hecarim's red, sees him out there, decides to go up top. Some aggression coming from aggression coming up from Olaf, and that is the kill.
It's an execute. Maokai not getting the damage down.
Yeah. Kawaii Kid wanting ulti popped. Will he pick it up as a response? He does. And it is quite even.
So actually, SKB pulls off an experience lead because Maokai still gets the XP for the death of Jarvan.
Ulti coming in from Yamar, answered by a shockwave, but the ignite ticks on that Orianna, and she does fall. Yamar, taking the lead in that mid lane, is looking down bot for the roam. He knows that Phoenix is a little bit under pressure now. Again, his mana is the flash play from Nesu. Why am I looking at there? And Vayne, but Vayne picks up a kill on Dark Phoenix.
Wow, the Hecarim had teleport.
Yes, the knockback. I was about to say, where did the flip come back from? But Kawaii Kid has the knockback on that Thresh, picking up 2 kills for SKB. And they turn now to face Dragon. They know, you know, Yamar can't really do anything by himself. That probably won't stop him from doing something. SKB getting actually really, really low. Cow trying to zone out Yamar. But, oh man, the knockback. Kawaii Kid taking a lot of damage from that Dragon. He needs Smite. He doesn't have it. But Yamar cleaning house. Ulti popped down for Davy, wanting to fight back. Shockwave coming out from Orianna, taking him very low, and they do pick him up.
Ezreal, Ezreal almost making a play there.
That is 2 kills though. One kill and 1 execute, 2 Dragon, for SKB. And I believe Salted Yams comes out ahead. In that
Actually, SKB pulls a gold lead off of that. They were down at 1.5, and now they're up in gold. So actually, SKB pulls off ahead there.
Vayne did manage to get the Dragon. You know, with her silver bolts, the true damage. Hook lands from Nesu, the flash being forced out from that Orianna. Nesu making those plays. He's warmed up that hook finger.
But 3 kills on Vayne. She has the Bork, and Ezreal has a Phage. So the combat stats coming out huge on SKB's side for that bot lane matchup.
Yeah, Vayne was able to pick up the kills on Thresh and on Phoenix as well during that engage. She rolls back into the hook of Nesu. Mind games going on.
Is that you?
Nesu definitely on point with his hooks now. Definitely landing. BC Buddy getting harassed by those tornadoes. Gank from Kawaii Kid happening though. Shockwave from Orianna not landing yet. The counter gank from Mass Duck picks up the kill on Orianna, now giving chase to Kawaii Kid. He is stuck in Salted Yams territory. I don't know if he's gonna get out of this alive. Looking like he wants to execute, but Mass Duck is right on his tail, and I think he just has to give up the ghost on this.
Takes the assist away from the Aspo, so not total loss there, but I am surprised Orianna had a chance to Shockwave very early on the Aspo before Jarvan even showed up, but she was just a little bit too greedy holding on to that ability there, so I feel she could have picked up the kill, getting the Shockwave off a little bit earlier instead of holding on to it.
So much action going on in the mid and bot lanes. Junglers are being very, very active this game. But let's not forget the island up in the top lane. Henok lost his tower to that Olaf, and Olaf looks like he is running away with a lead. He does have quite a bit of CS margin. Teleport though, going on that Olaf for that bot lane. The fight happening. Nesu picks up the kill on Orianna. Kill secured by Bloodthirsty Thresh. And they want to clean this up. I think Kawaii Kevin falling to that Ezreal. And Vayne just not part of that fight at all. Was stuck in turret. Now pops her ulti. Yamar taking a lot of damage from that turret. Vayne picking up that kill. This tower dive was so greedy. She picks up a double and a triple. She's looking for that Quadra, but Nesu, again, the bloodthirsty support ends the killing spree and isn't finished with that forcing Danbro to flash. But
yes, Salted Yams are pulling ahead, but that's a 6-1 Vayne, and we know Vayne can scale to the late game very well.
This is true. I think Salted Yams being very aggressive. They had picked up 2 kills already. Kawaii Kid coming back, respawning, and picks up the kill on Phoenix. He stayed too long for that tower. A big mistake on his part. And, you know, SKB trying to answer. Trying to capitalize on Salted Yams' mistake. Again, Salted Yams is ahead in this game. Well, they are getting ahead in this game.
Gold.
But that's just it. Whenever they get ahead on the kills, they overstep their bounds, get a little too greedy, and then Vayne is there to pick up the pieces and clean up like she is supposed to. Vayne wasn't in that fight for the entirety of it until they decide to dive the tower. I think they got a little bit too greedy for Danbro, and Vayne was just waiting there in the wings and cleans up. Yamar taking a lot of tower shots during that exchange, and he falls to that true damage of Silverbolt. Yamar again going aggro on BC Buddy. Exhaust goes down. Vayne Vayne can't make up her mind though. Ulti goes down on that Vayne. Massive amounts of damage from Yamar, but
oh, the headbutt could have
gets knocked
the headbutt
down.
saved him.
Yeah, Silverbolt was going to peel the wall, but Yamar going very aggro on Danbro, even with a low life. Headbutt pulverize combo, but Mavdoc is right there. He will fall to Danbro. He stayed way too greedy, but Phoenix hook lands from Nesu, and Phoenix will be able to pick up that easy kill.
That was a huge misplay on to Danbro, knocking the Yasuo over the wall, saving his life.
And killing his ADC, Davey SD, in return, because that stun didn't land on the pin.
And they lost vision of him, so she couldn't keep autoing.
Yeah.
That was a very miscommunication on their part there.
Yes, Olaf keeping Henok busy on that Maokai while they do go for Dragon. This is going to be the first Dragon from Salted Yams, and they do pick it up. Henok going in very, very ham. Davey on the outside, untouched this entire, just absolutely not having enough target focus though. Very, very scrappy engage. It is 3 for 3 right now. Danbro coming in, trying to support BC Buddy, but Yamar is here. And I think they just need to get out of dodge on this one. BC Buddy and Danbro on full retreat now. They know Yamar can easily pick up a double here, but an even exchange 3 for 3, but Salted Yams coming away with the Dragon.
This is a much closer game than last time. Lots of good fights, good close fights.
That engage in the Dragon, I wish we could go back on a replay on that. But Davey SD could not make up who to focus. There was one shot, one shot on Ezreal, one shot on Mavduck on that or Masduck on that Jarvan, and she couldn't decide which one to go for. She hit both of them, dropping them to one shot each, and ended up not being able to get either of them.
I don't believe she popped her Bork that fight either.
Yes, which again, the damage lost and for that, and she was in range. The shove in mid though, happening by Phoenix and Nesu. They do get that middle turret. Mavduck finding Danbro in the jungle. Quite exposed. Vayne getting sandwiched with that Nesu. Flay happened. She does pop ulti. So much damage happening to Danbro though. But Masduck picks up the kill on that Vayne. They have no consistent fight going on. Yasuo picks up the kill on both their jungler. He does get a triple kill on SKB and isn't stopping there. Again, really, really greedy to kill BC Buddy, but it doesn't even matter. He falls and Phoenix picks up the kill. And that is an ace for Salted Yams. Salted Yams is diving SKB relentlessly, and though it might seem very reckless on their part, SKB isn't together as a group. They are getting caught out, and these fights are lasting quite a long time over a lot of area. And I feel like Davey SD on that Vayne is not there for his team to clean up, or like last fight, he was the one getting caught out.
And he needs to play a little bit safer since he is their main source of damage this whole
Yes,
game.
I agree.
Oriana's that utility, Alice is that tank. Hecarim won't put out that damage, as I said, till he gets that Triforce and he gets a little bit more tank on him. And Maokai is just going to be there to soak up damage. So they need to keep Vayne alive, and they need to have Davy positioned a little bit better here.
As going as of last game as well, Salted Yams having very deep wards in SKB's territory. Twisted Advance does land on Phoenix. Ulti from Hecarim going down. Davey SD being untouched in the backline. This is exactly what they needed. Yamar trying to kite for his life, but
They could go for Baron.
The triple kill on that Vayne. Finally, some focus on Davey.
They're going for the Baron. They can definitely get this uncontested. Good push back though from Olaf and Jarvan, trying to force something onto that mid inner.
Yeah, they know that as two men it's going to be risky, but hey, this game has been all full of risk. Mastock looking for some vision for a steal, perhaps. Again, both these teams are playing so risky, and they're just not letting this go. Wow, the smite coming from Mastock, as again with high risk comes high reward, and it is smited away from SKB. That was insane!
Okay, so 3 members of Salted Yams got that Baron. Yasuo wasn't quite alive. He was a second away from pulling that up too.
But that was just it. With the risk of them going for Baron, they could have had an easy middle turret for that push, maybe even a second one, you know, with Vayne taking down turrets like their butter. But instead, they walk away from that favorable engagement with nothing. Actually, with less than nothing. They gave Baron to 3 members of Salted Yams who have already showed that they are not scared to play aggressive. Just phenomenal play on that Mastock, and you know, that's why you know, that is one of his comfort picks. Duel going up from Maokai and Yamar, and Yasuo, but Yamar on that Yasuo, just not, Maokai doesn't have enough damage. Exhaust goes down from BC Buddy, Shockwave lands, she does pick up the kill, but Mastock forces her to flash with his ulti Cataclysm. She is going to be tower dove. Olaf is here as backup, and they are able to pick up the kill. All the meanwhile, Phoenix and Nasu pressing that mid tower. Danbro is trying to hold on for dear life on the second tower, but how strong is a cow? Kawaii Kid finding Nesu in the jungle. Davey SD picks up that Olaf. Is it enough? Hook lands, stopping Davey from doing any damage on that Vayne. And Nesu, the bloodthirsty support, making plays for his team, shuts down that Vayne. Phoenix now on an absolute tear.
Oh, blocking the lantern.
A very good job.
From the Dan, bro.
Yeah, very good job. BC Buddy hopefully able to pick up that kill, but Phoenix just kiting his heart out. Is he going to...
Whoa.
He takes her out. And now Olaf is just diving Maokai for free. Mass Buddy doesn't care about the tower, pays for it with his life. Getting a little too eager on this. And now Assaulted Yams pressing towards that inhib. So much fighting for this match. And BC Buddy again just looking like he's very outclassed on that Oriana from both Yamar and Phoenix.
Again, they just need to keep right now. They just need to keep that Vayne alive. Hecarim picked up his Triforce, so he's a lot of damage now coming out. Still missing out on that tank stats that he's going to need to survive, but he's getting there, and he's I said he's almost at his biggest power spikes at level 14 is really when Hecarim takes off. So we're gonna see if he makes any moves around that point of the game. Baron's still up for a little bit longer, I believe.
Yeah. Let's not forget the fact that Vayne is 10-5 right now. There has been some moments that Davy has shown surprisingly really good mechanics on that Vayne, having that focus. But there are other times too where he just fails. Kawaii Kevin trying to go one-on-one versus that Yamar and falls. He's getting a little overeager and not respecting the fact that Yasuo has a lot of damage on him. Salted Yams trying to pull apart this SKB squad. Go in, pushing both mid and bot. Twisted advance lands on Maokai, trying to zone out Yamar. Phoenix picks up the tower though. No one still has died. There it is now. All the deaths coming out at once. Phoenix still untouched in the background. Davy at half health giving chase. Blade of the Rune King lands on Phoenix. But there is no follow-up. Davy very, very low on health. Combo lands from Phoenix. Hanok sacrificing his life so that Vayne can get away safely. But that...
Well, Vayne picks up 2 kills, and it's a 3-for-2 trades and kill, but they do lose that inhib tower.
They do. They have yet to lose that inhib though, so it is some consolation on their part, but they do need to make something happen. That Baron steal from Mask Duck though kind of solidifies their lead going in for those 3 minutes that Baron was on their team.
Yeah, that was a big turnaround. SKB was making that comeback, and if they had gotten that Baron, I think they could have almost solidified that comeback. But big steal coming out for Jarvan.
They do have their backs against pressed against the wall, but again, they are comfortable playing from behind. They are comfortable playing from behind. So, as long as they don't lose an inhib and try to keep their lanes pushed up, I still think that Vayne can make this happen for them. They are relying their team comp. Hanop though, getting caught out in the jungle versus 3 members of Salted Yams. Will he make it out alive?
Oh, I think he almost could have turned on that one. It was close.
SKB playing it very, very safe though. SKB playing it very safe. They don't want to make any more mistakes. For that,
they're probably waiting on that Infinity Edge to come out for Vayne until the next fight.
Mastok getting a little bit caught out, but he does have Nesu and Denim on that Olaf for support. There's just been non-stop action between these two teams. Looking at Hanok's build though, they needed a beefy front line. And by the looks of it, both Maokai and Hecarim vouched instead for a more offensive build. I think that's the downfall. They're not buying enough time for Vayne to do the damage that she needs to do in the backline, and they're getting melted by this Yamar and Phoenix.
That being said, Maokai
engage happening, ultimates going down, Phoenix getting exhausted, but Orianna getting hooked by Nesu. Vayne picking up a double kill.
Still alive.
Vayne is still alive, but she is out of the fight as Olaf picks up the kill on Danbro, and that is an inhib for
We
Salted
could see
Yams.
we could see a re-engage here.
There is a re-engage, but Olaf sitting on that Vayne's face, and Phoenix is able to clean that up. She got way too close to that Olaf.
Great arcane smash. Pulls him out of the dark passage with that one. Well played by Hanuk. They lose inhib, but they're still generating gold for their team, trying to scale into that late game. As I was trying to say, Hanuk did buy that rod and the Iceborne, but he does have about 225 armor still on him and about 2800 HP. So he might have been a little aggressive, but he's still building those tank stats. He is going for a late game build though with that Rod of Aegis stacking up.
Yeah, during that fight, Orianna wasn't able to get a very good shockwave on, despite them being very clumped up. She was also hooked by Nesu on that Thresh, stopping a lot of her damage, and not able to protect Vayne, with Vayne dropping very low, and had to go back to Fountain to heal up. With that re-engage, she got a little bit too close. Olaf was a little too healthy, the true damage coming out, and just absolutely melted her. With Phoenix being able to get his Q off, I believe, to pick up the kill on that Vayne. Yamar pushing up by himself. He is feeling very confident now, though. He does have that IE built up and his static shiv. We know Yasuo as being, a 2-item champion, and as long as he has those 2 items, he is good to go. Hanok being caught out from the jungle. The hooks from Nesu on point. There was a slow start, and we did make fun of him for that botched first blood attempt. But he has definitely redeemed himself with these hooks, making plays for the team.
Also, SKB, little bit overextending there. Maokai shouldn't be off on his own that far out with the super minions flowing in. Little misplay there. Maybe they were trying to get some wards out or something. I'm not quite sure. But they do lose a lot of map pressure for that catch.
Yes, and Salted Yams now sieging out the mid turret. Yamar getting caught out though, by himself in the bot lane, and that's going to be the second. Kawaii Kid, comes in with the ulti with a ball delivery system with Ori, but it was not enough damage. Davy on that Vayne is being untouched, but focusing the wrong targets, getting way too close to that Olaf. Phoenix also going down, but that doesn't matter. Phoenix just has way too much damage, and he picks up a triple kill, and that should be game for. That is game for Salted Yams. Vayne picking up the kills, just the focus was not there, that team fight. Both ADCs were not being targeted, but Vayne putting in all her damage on that Olaf and going off to chase that Jarvan. And in a very skirmished and action-packed match, Salted Yams comes away with a 2-0 victory.